Good evening, everyone. How are you? We are just loading. Some technology thing is happening, so I'm going to let that happen. It is so great to be here in Rosendale Village. It is always just so much fun when I get to come over here because when I think about the Main Streets program in general, the 20 Main Streets districts that our team oversees. When I come to Rosy, I get a sense of it's really happening here. That when we think about the Main Streets program and the whole intent of it was really to make sure that the city had a direct line to small businesses, to entrepreneurs, to neighborhoods, to help people come together, think about connections in neighborhoods, and think about investments. So I offered a few slides here just to give you a sense of a couple things. One, what is the small business ecosystem in the city? The city released a small business plan last year, first one, where we really did a scan of small businesses across the city and thought about what it is that we are trying to deliver. So I'll talk a little bit about the state of small business. I'll talk a little bit about the goals behind the small business office and what we're trying to really roll out, and then talk about what we have. And then I hope what we can do is just really open it up for discussion. I know there are a couple other presenters that are here. I also want to make sure to leave room for a discussion afterwards. I'll hang around a little bit so we can talk. So when we did a scan of the small business ecosystem, can you guys see over there a little bit? We found out some interesting things, right? So the small business plan that was released last year let us know that there are 40,000 small businesses across the city of Boston, which is a staggering number. We did not know that. We knew there are lots of businesses everywhere, retail, restaurants, folks operating businesses in their homes. We had no idea of the scale of this. We also realized that those 40,000 businesses, we found out, are generating about $15 billion in revenue, which is not a small number, and 170,000 jobs is significant as well. If we took all the small businesses and put them together, they would be the largest employer, the largest job generator in the city of Boston. So although we talk a lot about big businesses, skyscrapers downtown, there's been a lot of buzz around the GE deal, we're excited about that. But the story is really about small businesses. If you really want to talk about the economic engine of the city's economy, it's small businesses. And we really want to think about what is it that we know about this ecosystem based on these facts and figures. What are businesses telling us they need it? What are entrepreneurs saying to us? And so what we've done is we created this new small business office last year. We're just about a year old, where the mayor decided, well, we have small business supports over here, we have small business supports over there, and over there at a time across 3 or 4 different departments. We rolled them all together under the umbrella of the Office of Economic Development and created one office as a way to really streamline the support and the staffing to make it easier for us to internally navigate and certainly easier for constituents to find out who we are and what we do. And so thinking about the small business supports and assistance that we offer, there are a few main goals that I just wanted to highlight really quickly just to give you a sense of what we're up to. Clear goals to strengthen the small business ecosystem overall. So the entire landscape of the city that is connecting small businesses, that is supporting small businesses, what can we do to make that stronger? With the city acting as a convener, and also the city getting out of the way and letting people that also do this work to step right in and lead. We want to make sure to increase the number of small businesses. It's a little daunting, right? So you might say 40,000, that's kind of a lot. Why do we need more? Well, some of it is around what are the types of businesses that we have represented. How can we make sure that across several sectors we have good representation and good connectivity? So we're really thinking about increasing the overall vitality of businesses, but also the number. We want to increase the number of jobs. Small businesses are an incredibly important employer of local residents, of families. And so we see them as an engine for job creation. And so we want to really focus on how we can support businesses to create more jobs. And also, in truth, small businesses and business development is also about wealth creation. So as a part of Mayor Walsh's economic equity and inclusion agenda, equity, wealth creation, income opportunities are a critical part of why small businesses are important, why the overall health and growth are critical. So wealth creation is something that absolutely forms an essential security blanket across the neighborhoods for how people are able to do well and thrive in the city. So we want to also think about the ways that we're addressing common and specific business needs. So through the small business plan, we were able to talk to individual business owners through roundtables, through one-on-one conversations. We also got a sense of what folks needed overall. And so a lot of our service delivery is toggling between the two. What are specific needs of business owners, even of property owners, and then how can we support them based on what we know that's in common. And the last piece of this was a decision based on what we learned through the plan to prioritize underinvested and marginalized communities, potentially people of color, women, and immigrant-owned businesses. We found these to be vulnerable populations that have lower numbers of businesses, but also show lower capital turnover, meaning their ability to get capital, their ability to actually grow their businesses were really affected by various barriers that we want to call out and really identify those communities as priority areas. So this is almost my last slide. You're familiar with basically all of the programs, and many of you are, that we provide through the Small Business Office and the city in general. And I just wanted to point out a few things. Again, the Boston Main Streets program is key. 20 Main Street districts across the city that are really there to provide advising, support, guidance to what small businesses and entrepreneurs need. They are there with full-time staff, and that staff is directly supported by City of Boston staff on an ongoing basis. Restore, I think, Anthony, did you mention Restore? Yeah, and a couple other folks had mentioned the design and facade improvement support that we have directly through the Restore program. So if you have a business, your business needs some kind of investment in the physical signage there, we can also give some support for branding, for some of your marketing materials through our Restore program. Our on-site technical assistance program, also really critical for providing you professional coaches who can really get in the nooks and crannies of some of your business needs, whether it's on the legal side, accounting, retail, insights, all of these kind of specialized areas that are around the core competency of your building, of your business. We have providers that can come free of charge to you and help give you targeted assistance. WeBoss, Women Entrepreneurs Boston, really important set of programs and initiatives that our office supports for women who are in business or who want to get in business, really based on the fact that on the dollar, women-owned businesses are underinvested. And so we want to think about how do we create a stronger network, but also raise the visibility of what those businesses need. Again, I mentioned a little bit about the neighborhood business managers. Who are on the team that I'm on, who really support the Main Streets directly. They are there as a resource. They can also give particular specialized attention to how you navigate City Hall. Whether it's on, I know the slide here points out zoning, licensing, and permitting. I know Commissioner Christopher will probably talk a little bit about that. But even beyond that, so how do we think about what are the other things in City Hall that you may need and how can the staff support you there? Small business loans are critical, important. I want to call out John Fitzgerald, who's here, who is the director of the Small Business Capital and Finance Group, and he can talk a little bit to you individually about some of the loan opportunities that we have right now. Energy efficiency programs, and Abby can talk a little bit about that if you want to find out more about what are the ways that your business can actually tap into the scale. Scaling of small businesses can help you really actually save money on your energy and utility bills. The last point here, mouthful, but I want to make sure you get it. Certification in public contracting. So some of you may actually be providing services that the city needs to purchase. And so as a part of the equity and inclusion agenda, we've also thought about how can we strengthen the supply side of this. How can we support small businesses who are particularly in the area of architecture, construction, engineering, and a wide range of professional services that the city may need to purchase. In FY16, the city had $622 million on the table of discretionary spend. A lot of that goes in the city, but too much of that goes outside of the city. And so Mayor Walsh has been very clear about prioritizing the need to look to local and small businesses inside the city to think about discretionary spending. So contracting and procurement is a real big piece of that. So if anyone wants more information on that, I'm happy to provide a follow-up or a conversation or connect you to the staff that works on that directly. A breath. A lot of good stuff happening, a lot of momentum around what we're trying to do for small businesses. Happy to take any additional questions that you may have. and also just want to leave you with the list of some of the team that's leading this work. Certainly John Barrows, that many of you may know, the Chief of Economic Development, who sits over our cabinet. Myself sits with the team. We sit across the street, actually on Court Street. Steve Gilman, who is our Main Streets manager, he oversees all of the Main Streets program. Steve Rumpler, who also directs and oversees the Restore, so the design and facade improvement program. John Fitzgerald, who I called out to you, is the director of the Capital and Finance Unit. And Abby Ferry, of course, who is our neighborhood business manager right here, and she also is our creative economy point. So we wanted to share this so you could see the names. You could get a sense of who's doing what, and would love to take questions. Should I take them now? Should I wait? You can take it. Okay. And that is my last slide. So thank you for hanging in there. Really, really excited to be here and happy to take any questions or comments that you may have for me. So what do you need? Tell me. I'm ready. Yes. Hi.
Just a quick question.
Tell me your name.
I'm Adam.
Adam. Hi.
What does the city of Boston classify as small business?
Small business, yeah, absolutely. So we do take our instruction and our direction from the Small Business Administration definition of a small business. So typically an established small business would have 50 or fewer employees and about less than $5 million in revenue. When we did the small business scan, we found that most of the small businesses in the city are actually micro businesses. So most businesses are showing us 10 or fewer employees and about 500,000 or less in revenue. Yeah. And even smaller, actually. Yeah. Hi. Tell me your name.
Lisa DiPietro, and we own Pet Cabaret up the street, just outside the village area. So for businesses like myself and for Tony's at this point, if we are technically outside Main Street area, are we still eligible for services?
Absolutely. It does vary a little bit because the first question is yes, in the terms of what kinds of support we can give you in terms of advising, some coaching. Because we are federally funded, there are some limitations to some of how the money passes through, whether you're in a low and moderate income area, but we still have some funding to support folks who are outside of that. Obviously, do you want to jump in and say anything more?
I was just saying, we're going to help. So,
yeah,
okay.
Perfect.
Definitely give me a call.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, with the citywide business plan, we have a mandate to serve the entire city. So we really want to make it possible. All right, perfect. We're in business. We're in business. Great, thank you so much. Well, we're here. I'm going to hang out. So thanks so much for your attention. I look forward to being in touch with you. Great. Thank you.